In a small town, there lived an old man in the midst of a beautiful garden, renowned not only for its vibrant flowers but also for his deep wisdom. People from the town often sought his advice, not just about gardening, but about life itself. The old man embodied Stoic philosophy, always calm, balanced, and knowing when to speak or remain silent. One day, a passionate young man came to the old man, seeking guidance. Confused about his life, the young man felt trapped by societal temptations and anxieties and didn't know how to find peace. The old man, observing him calmly, invited him to stay for a week and work in the garden with him. In complete silence, just observing and learning. During the first week, as they worked in silence, the old man taught the young man invaluable lessons without uttering a single word. On the first day, they pruned the flowers in the garden. The old man subtly taught him that complaining about things that can't be changed only burdens the mind, much like how a garden becomes tangled if not carefully tended. On the second day, as they planted new seeds, the old man showed the young man how to carefully choose the right spot, hinting that a wise person never reveals their plans too early. Like seeds, ideas and goals must be nurtured before being shared with the world. On the third day, the old man quietly showed him how to water the plants regularly, reminding him that a wise person doesn't publicly criticize others. Instead of hurting with words, we should nourish others with understanding and support, just as water helps plants grow. On the fourth day, as they tidied the garden, the old man smiled at the young man, conveying that boasting about one's achievements or wealth is like an unwanted weed. It doesn't beautify the garden but clutters the mind. On the fifth day, while they sat under a tree, the old man gestured that speaking ill of others behind their backs is like spreading a toxic wind. It not only harms others but also ruins one's own reputation. On the sixth day, the old man handed the young man another seed and said, "There's no need to speak of your fears to everyone. Face them yourself." This was the lesson about controlling one's fears, learning to master and overcome them from within. On the seventh day, as the garden fell into a serene quietness, the old man gently reminded the young man that pretending to know everything is not a sign of intelligence. Humility and the ability to keep learning are what truly lead to wisdom. At the end of the week, the old man gazed at the carefully tended garden and said, "Do you see? Like these plants, if we act with care, there's no need to lie or exaggerate for others to believe us. Truth always shines on its own." The young man nodded silently, feeling a transformation within himself. He understood there was no need for empty promises, as a wise person takes action rather than makes uncertain promises. Finally, he realized that the old man's silence throughout the week was the most important lesson, knowing when to remain silent and avoid saying unnecessary things. Before leaving, the young man turned to the old man and asked, "Is there anything else I need to learn?" The old man simply smiled and said, "Avoid discussing trivial matters. Life has too many important things to focus on." From then on, the young man carried these lessons with him throughout his life, understanding that wisdom often lies not in what we say, but in what we choose to withhold. Now, let's explore 11 things that a wise person never says. If you want to dive deeper into life lessons and Stoic philosophy, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss the valuable videos we have coming up. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to living a meaningful and peaceful life. Number 1. Rushed words. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." And he was absolutely right. Have you ever felt words spill out of your mouth before your mind had a chance to think? It's that moment when you look back and wish you could have held back, choosing silence over words you later regret. Even the most intelligent and experienced among us can fall into this trap. In Stoic philosophy, Words aren't a means to assert power or superiority, but a way to understand oneself and the world. Words can build or destroy, heal or hurt, but the Stoics understood that silence and reflection hold more power than any words ever could. A study from Harvard University shows that those who think before they speak are often regarded as more intelligent and trustworthy. Stoic practitioners know that wisdom isn't just found in what we say, but in what we choose to withhold. Silence is not only a sign of self-control, but also the strength to resist being swept away by fleeting emotions or impulses. But how do we learn to remain silent at the right moments and avoid the hasty words that we may regret? One simple yet effective technique is to pause and count to 5. It may sound basic, but those 5 seconds provide the time you need to pause and reflect before letting emotions guide your words. In tense situations like a heated argument or when you feel insulted, counting to 5 can create a small gap between emotion and action. It's the line between an explosive reaction and a calm, constructive response. Imagine you're in the middle of an argument with your partner, colleague, or a close friend. Harsh words are about to spill out of your mouth, but you decide to pause, take a deep breath, and count to 5. In that moment, your mind is freed from anger, and you can handle the situation with greater wisdom. As a result, you avoid unnecessary conflict and may even salvage the relationship. Stoic thinking doesn't stop at the count to 5 rule. It also emphasizes full awareness or mindfulness, the ability to control one's emotions and actions. To Stoics, every thought and word is carefully considered, much like a craftsman carving intricate details into their masterpiece. Full awareness allows us to be mindful in our speech, turning it into a powerful tool for building rather than destroying. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, emphasized that those with high emotional intelligence not only manage their emotions but also control impulses, including the urge to speak without thinking. For Stoics, developing emotional intelligence is key to mastering oneself and not being swept away by inner conflict. Additionally, Stoic philosophy encourages using the think principle before speaking. This is a great way to ensure that what you're about to say holds real value. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If what you're about to say doesn't meet at least 3 of these criteria, it might be best to keep it to yourself. This is how Stoics maintain inner peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. Words in this philosophy are not used to assert the ego, but to build, inspire, and strengthen relationship. In today's noisy world, we're often swept up in arguments, conflicts, and the desire to prove ourselves. But, as philosopher Marcus Aurelius taught, we always have control over how we react. Choosing silence at the right moment isn't weakness. It's inner strength, the self-mastery that no situation can shake. Silence can be like a flash of lightning cutting through the night of empty words. As author Mark Twain once said, the difference between the right word and the almost right word is the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. Words spoken at the right time and in the right way carry far more power than any outburst ever could. So the next time you feel words rushing to escape your mouth, stop, breathe, count to 5, and remember the think principle. Practice mindfulness, develop emotional intelligence, and learn to use words as a tool of wisdom. This is the Stoic path, helping you maintain inner peace and build lasting relationships. Number 2, provocation. Imagine provocation as those annoying commercials interrupting your favorite movie. You could sit there frustrated, but the smarter move is to change the channel. Smart people do the same with provocations. They don't waste time or energy reacting. Instead of getting swept up in anger, they redirect the conversation like switching channels to find something more enjoyable. This takes calmness, self-control, and a high level of emotional intelligence. Why is avoiding provocation so important? The answer lies in the survival mechanism of our brain. When provoked, your brain immediately perceives it as a threat. It activates the body's stress response system, similar to facing a real danger like a tiger. But instead of confronting a tiger, you're dealing with harsh words. Your body prepares for fight or flight, making it easy to slip into emotional outbursts. This is where emotional intelligence acts as your superpower. It's like having X-ray vision for people's intention. Those with high emotional intelligence know that behind every provocation lies insecurity, pain, or frustration from the provocateur. It's like they possess emotional X-ray glasses, allowing them to see what's really going on in the other person's mind. For example, imagine you're in a work meeting and a colleague harshly criticizes you to undermine you in front of everyone. Your first instinct may be to fire back and defend yourself. But the wise person pauses. They understand the other person might feel insecure or threatened by their success. Instead of responding harshly, they choose to remain silent or respond calmly, perhaps even with a light joke to diffuse the situation. This way, they not only avoid unnecessary conflict but also maintain their dignity and self-respect. How can we apply this in our daily lives? One of the most effective techniques is to picture yourself as a duck. It might sound strange, but imagine provocations as drops of water sliding off the duck's feathers, leaving it dry. The duck doesn't mind the water, and neither should you mind the harsh words of others. Let those harsh words slide off you without affecting your mind or emotion. Another technique is to use humor as a shield. When someone tries to provoke you, respond with a light-hearted joke. This not only reduces tension, but also takes the wind out of the provocateur's sails. Imagine yourself as a humor ninja, using jokes to deflect the toxic arrows from your opponent. For example, when someone criticizes you at work, instead of getting defensive, you might say something like, "Oh, I'll remember that for when I conquer the world next." This response helps you keep your dignity intact while also easing the tension. Each time you avoid a provocation, you're not just protecting yourself but also building emotional strength. Think of it like going to the gym for your mind. You don't need to lift weights or break a sweat. Just stay calm, control your emotions, and avoid getting dragged into meaningless conflict. This practice will make you emotionally stronger with each experience. Remember, by refusing to engage in unnecessary arguments, you're choosing your future. Every word you don't say could help you preserve your dignity, relationships, and even your career. Think of great leaders like Nelson Mandela or Mahatma Gandhi. They faced countless provocations and attacks, yet remained calm and true to their ideals. They didn't let petty words bring them down. Neither should you. So next time someone tries to provoke you, remember, you're smarter than that. Picture yourself as the duck, stay calm, smile, and keep moving forward with confidence. Provocative words will only make you stronger if you learn how to rise above them. Your future self will thank you for it. Before we move on to the third point, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. Leave your thoughts in the comments below to discuss and analyze this topic together. Number 3. Lying. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to constantly find themselves in trouble, as if they place themselves in avoidable, difficult situations? A seemingly harmless lie may start as a small cover-up, but it has the potential to grow into a massive problem, much like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and pulling along countless unforeseen consequences. Imagine you're building a house of cards. Every lie you tell is like adding another card to this fragile structure. At first, the house appears stable, even impressive. Everything seems under control. But with each new lie, the house gets taller and more precarious. And you know what happens to a house of cards, right? One slight breeze and boom, it all collapses in an instant. You might think, I'm not someone who lies all the time. True, we've all told lies at some point. Harmless lie that seems to hurt no one, like, "Yes, Mom, I ate all my vegetables," or "That shirt looks great on you." But what's the difference between an innocent fib and living a life based on lies? It's the line between truth and losing trust. Think of a lie like spraying cheap perfume to cover up a bad odor. You might mask the smell for a short time, but eventually the stench will reveal itself, perhaps even worse than before. Similarly, lying might help you escape a situation momentarily, but dishonesty will always come to light. And trust me, no one wants to be around someone who stinks of deceit. So why do we lie? Sometimes we lie out of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of losing a relationship, or fear of facing the consequences of truth. Other times, we lie to avoid conflict, keep the peace in a tense situation. And sometimes, quite simply, lying seems easier than dealing with the truth. But wise people, those who practice Stoic thinking, understand that even if the truth is hard to hear, honesty always brings long-term benefit. Truth is like a bitter medicine. Once you take it, you'll feel relieved and healthier. Imagine your relationships like a bank account. Every time you're honest, you're depositing trust into that account. Every time you lie, you're withdrawing trust. If you keep withdrawing without depositing, eventually you'll go bankrupt in trust. And once that account runs dry, your relationship might collapse alongside it. This doesn't mean you should walk around as a truth cannon, blurting out whatever comes to mind like a human lie detector. This is where emotional intelligence comes in. It's about knowing when to be honest and when to hold back. For instance, if your friend just got a haircut you don't love, instead of bluntly saying it looks awful, you could say it's different and really unique. This kind of response might not be fully honest, but it avoids hurting someone's feelings while maintaining sincerity in your communication. How do you balance being honest and kind? The key lies in finding balance between honesty and kindness. As someone once wisely said, truth without tact is cruelty. Tact without truth is manipulation. Think of honesty as your moral compass and kindness as the light guiding your way. You need both to navigate relationships and life. Next time you feel the urge to lie, pause and ask yourself, is this really worth it? Is this worth sacrificing my integrity? Every lie is like adding another heavy suitcase at the airport, seemingly small, but as you accumulate them, they become heavier and harder to carry. And the cost of losing integrity is far greater than any short-term benefit a lie might bring. Does lying really help us? Think back to times you had to hide the truth and the consequences followed. You might have escaped a tough situation at that moment, but over time, you had to weave more lies to cover the original one. Like a self-operating machine, lies build upon lies until you lose control. And when the truth inevitably comes out, the fallout can be far worse than you imagined. In fact, a survey from the University of Massachusetts found that up to 60% of adults lie at least once during a 10-minute conversation. This statistic shows that lying isn't rare. But what happens when those lies accumulate over time? Those who lie consistently face losing trust from family, friends, and colleagues. They become people no one can rely on, and nothing is more valuable than trust in relationships. So instead of relying on lies to escape tricky situations, learn to face the truth. Wise individuals know that honesty brings relief and frees them from the burden of deceit. The truth, though initially tough to swallow, will ultimately help you build strong and trustworthy relationships. In the long run, truth may be uncomfortable, but it's the foundation upon which genuine, strong, and lasting relationships are built. Avoid the temptation of short-term gains through lies. Trust, once lost, is hard to rebuild, while honesty, even in small doses, brings lasting peace. Number 4. Making fun of others. Psychology tells us that mockery is often a defense mechanism. It's as if our brain is saying, if I laugh at them, no one will laugh at me. What if I told you there's a better way to protect yourself? Truly intelligent people have discovered this secret. Empathy is the new superpower. Instead of mocking, they choose to put themselves in the other person's shoes. And no, you don't have to be a genius to do this. You just need to be willing to look beyond the surface. What if someone mocks you? This is where Stoic thinking comes into play. Marcus Aurelius, the famous emperor and philosopher, had a powerful principle. He said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." In other words, when someone mocks you, the most effective response is to not react in the way they expect. Imagine this. Someone makes a snide comment about your outfit. Instead of snapping back or feeling embarrassed, you smile and say, "Thanks for noticing. I like experimenting with fashion." By doing that, you've disarmed the mockery with confidence and grace. But let's take it a step further. What if, instead of just protecting yourself, you turn that moment into an opportunity for every time you're teased can be a chance to build patience, understanding, and emotional control. It's like a free emotional gym, and you're the VIP member. Now, we're not suggesting you should become emotionless. Feeling hurt or uncomfortable when you're mocked is completely natural. The key lies in how you handle those emotions. Smart people understand that emotions are like the weather. They come and go. You don't need to react to every dark cloud that crosses the sky of your feeling. And here's the most exciting part. When you stop mocking others, a magical change begins to happen. The world around you becomes more positive. People feel more comfortable around you. Conversations become deeper and more meaningful. It's as if you've unlocked a new level in the game of life. But be careful. This doesn't mean you have to lose your sense of humor. Laughter is still one of the best medicines we have. The difference is in laughing with people, not at them. The subtle but powerful shift. So the next time you feel the urge to mock someone, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what would a truly intelligent person say in this situation? You might be surprised by the answer. By the way, I'll be answering all of your comments. If you have any questions or want to suggest ideas for future videos, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I truly appreciate your engagement. Let's keep learning together and improving our lives. Number 5. Intelligent handling of personal dissatisfaction or complaints. Imagine your job as a pressure cooker. If you let it build up unchecked, eventually it will explode. But if you know how to adjust the release valve, the pressure cooker will function smoothly and safely. Your complaints build up inside you, just like steam in that cooker. The question is, how will you choose to release that steam? First, take a deep breath. Yes, it sounds simple, but according to Stoic philosophy, controlling your breath is key to managing your emotional reaction. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Before you blurt out complaints, pause and take time to breathe. Just 60 seconds of deep breathing can pull you away from stress and allow you to approach the issue with logic rather than emotion. This is how you master yourself before acting. Next, ask yourself, is sharing this complaint truly necessary? In Stoic thought, not every emotion needs to be expressed. Sometimes, keeping your feelings to yourself and focusing on what you can control is the best way to maintain peace of mind. If you feel it's necessary to speak up, turn your complaint into a constructive suggestion. Instead of saying, "I hate this project," try, "I think we could improve some aspects of this project." By doing this, you turn a negative situation into an opportunity to contribute and make improvement. Remember, from a Stoic perspective, complaining doesn't change the situation. Instead of constantly venting frustration, focus on what you can control. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You may not be able to change your circumstances. You can always change how you perceive and act within them. If you need to express a concern, choose the right person to talk to. In the Stoic mindset, it's important to direct your concerns towards someone who can resolve the problem, rather than someone who will simply listen to your complaints. This is the difference between taking action and reacting. Don't waste time venting to someone who can't help you. Instead, seek out someone who can help you change the situation. This way, you control your environment rather than letting it control you. Another important point is that constant complaining is contagious. Stoicism encourages us to avoid unnecessary negativity. When you complain constantly, it's like spreading negative energy around. Before you realize it, the whole workplace becomes heavier and more negative. A Stoic knows that to maintain inner peace, you must distance yourself from negative influences and avoid spreading them to others. So the next time work stress starts to get to you, pause, breathe, think about what you can control, and choose to act wisely. This is how a Stoic keeps their mind calm amid the storms of life. Number 6. Gossip and spreading rumors. Why are we so easily drawn into gossip? According to a study by the University of California, gossip makes up 65% of our daily conversations. Sounds shocking, doesn't it? It seems we're captivated by questions like, "Did you hear about?" However, not all gossip is bad. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar argues that, in the past, gossip helped humans maintain social bonds and convey important information. But like anything else, the problem lies not in its nature, but in its overuse. So how do you know when you've crossed the line? According to Stoic philosophy, you need to pause and ask yourself, is this beneficial? If what you're about to say could hurt someone, keep it to yourself. If the information didn't come directly from the person involved, it's best not to spread it. If you feel joy in someone else's misfortune, that's a sign you need to stop and reflect. Stoicism teaches that we shouldn't let negative emotions control our action. But let's be honest, it's sometimes hard to resist the temptation of gossip. It's like when someone tells you not to think about a pink elephant. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Exactly, pink elephant. So how can we control ourselves in these situations? The key, as the Stoic philosophers taught, is to redirect your energy. Instead of engaging in gossip, why not share something positive? Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Instead of focusing on the negative, turn the conversation into an opportunity to inspire and uplift others. Here are some practical solutions. The 7-day challenge. For 1 week, commit to not saying anything negative about others. You'll be surprised at how your perspectives shift. Shift to positive thinking. When someone tries to draw you into negative gossip, steer the conversation towards something positive about that person. Pause consciously. Before speaking, stop and take a deep breath. These few seconds of silence can make all the difference between spreading gossip or not. Play detective. Instead of accepting gossip immediately, ask, "Are you sure?" Or, "Have you spoken directly with that person?" This not only slows the spread of gossip, but encourages more responsible thinking. We are all human, and it's important to recognize mistakes and improve. As Marcus Aurelius said, mistakes are the natural path to understanding. What matters is knowing better and starting to act better from today onward. Number 7. Intimate financial details. Warren Buffett, the great investor, once shared, "Never tell anyone how much money you make. It's rude." He's absolutely right. Sharing your personal financial details is like inviting others to intrude into your private life. Surely, you don't want to open the door and invite them in just because of their curiosity, do you? According to a study from the University of Chicago, people who keep their financial information private tend to have healthier relationships and fewer conflicts. Why is that? When someone knows your income level, they may start to compare and judge, leading to envy or a shift in attitude. But it's not just that. Keeping financial secrets also helps you steer clear of opportunists. or those who may want to take advantage. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we must know how to protect ourselves from things beyond our control, and keeping financial details private is like putting on an invisible armor to safeguard your peace of mind. That doesn't mean you should become an impenetrable vault. Key lies in balance. Share financial information when necessary, for example, with a trusted partner or financial advisor, but keep sensitive details private unless it's absolutely needed. As Marcus Aurelius once said, not everything needs to be said. So, what if someone pressures you to share your financial details? Stoic thinking teaches us to control our reactions to external pressure. Instead of feeling obligated to answer, you can choose to sidestep the conversation gracefully. You might say something like, "I have enough to live comfortably," or, "I'm grateful for what I have." These vague yet polite responses not only protect your privacy but also keep the conversation from becoming awkward. Remember, your financial situation, according to Stoic philosophy, is like your emotions and personal thoughts. They are things to be kept private, but only shared with those who truly need to know. As Seneca said, wealth does not define your value, but how you face wealth defines who you are. So, the next time someone gets curious about your finances, remember that keeping things private is a sign of wisdom. A little mystery not only adds to your style, but also helps you protect yourself and control your narrative more intelligently. Number 8. Privacy on social networks. Have you ever wondered if sharing every detail of your life on social media is really a good idea? Imagine your life as a house and social media as the windows. Do you really want everyone to see inside? Probably not. Yet every time we overshare personal information online, that's exactly what we're doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to criticize social media. It's a powerful tool when used wisely. Key is to find a balance between connecting with others and protecting your privacy. Epictetus, Stoic philosopher, once said, "We cannot control what others do or think, but we can control what we choose to reveal." When you share everything online, you're slowly losing control over your own information. Did you know that even tech experts are extremely cautious about what they post? They understand the hidden risks better than anyone. Think of your posts as digital tattoos. Once you share, they might be there forever. An inappropriate picture from a weekend party come back to embarrass you later. Stoicism teaches us to master our actions before unexpected consequences lead the way. But it's not all bad news. There are smart ways to use social media while still protecting your privacy. A simple strategy is to separate your personal life from your professional one by using 2 different accounts. It's like having 2 wardrobes, one for work and one for relaxing on the weekend. Stoic thinking encourages us to maintain boundaries between different areas of our lives. And passwords? You may not think much of them, but a strong password is like a protective shield. You don't realize how important it is until you need it. Choose complex passwords and avoid things like password 123. Weak passwords are basically an open invitation to risk entering your life. Be mindful of geotagging too. Tagging your location in photos can be fun, but do you really want everyone to know where you are at all times? It's like attaching a tracking device to yourself. Stoic philosophy advises you to always maintain control over the personal information you expose. Lastly, ask yourself, how many of your social media friends do you really know? We often get caught up in collecting online friends, trading cards. But each new friend could be another window into your private life. Remember, your personal life is something you have full control over. Use social media wisely, and don't let it control you. Number 9. Empty commitments. Imagine you're at a party, and a friend asks if you can help them move next weekend. Without much thought, you agree, even though you already have other plans. Sound familiar? Yes. you've just fallen into the trap of making a hollow commitment. Hollow commitments are like writing checks that have no funds behind them. They may seem fine at first, but when it's time to fulfill them, there's nothing to back it up. Just like bouncing checks, these empty promises can cause trouble and erode the trust others have in you. Why do we fall into this trap? Our brains are wired to seek social approval. We often say yes to please others, avoid guilt, or dodge the discomfort of saying no. But over time, saying yes without the ability to follow through does more harm than good. Think of each promise you make as a deposit into someone's trust. If you don't keep your word, each broken promise is a significant withdrawal. And like any bank account, if you withdraw too much, it will eventually run dry. So how do we avoid making hollow commitment? Here are some helpful. Think before you speak. Before agreeing to something, ask yourself if you truly have the time and ability to follow through. Learn to say no. This is a valuable skill, even though it's not easy. A genuine refusal often garners more respect than an insincere agreement. Be realistic about your time. You're not a superhero. Accept that you have limits and plan accordingly. Communicate clearly. If you're unsure whether you can fulfill a commitment, be honest about it. Transparency is always appreciated. Follow through on your promise. Once you commit, do everything you can to make it happen. Your reputation is on the line. Wise individuals understand that every promise is more than just words. It's a silent contract between you and another person. As Stoic philosopher and Emperor Marcus Aurelius reminded us, our words must align with our actions. Remember, promises are like anchors that tie you to others. You make many promises, but fulfill only a few. You're slowly undermining those valuable connections. In business, keeping promises is even more crucial. Warren Buffett, the renowned investor, once said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and only 5 minutes to ruin it." Much of that reputation is built on the foundation of kept commitment. So the next time you're tempted to make a promise without thinking it through, remember that your words carry weight. They're not balloons you can simply release into the sky and forget about. A wise person will consider carefully before making a commitment. They don't promise the impossible. Instead, they promise little but deliver much. This not only builds a strong reputation, but also strengthens long-lasting relationships based on trust. Number 10. Respect for beliefs and religion. Have you ever found yourself in an awkward situation when someone questions your religious beliefs? Imagine you're having a casual conversation with friends, and suddenly someone starts criticizing your faith. How do you respond? Do you become defensive, like a cornered cat? Or do you handle the situation with the calmness of a Zen master? The answer might surprise you. Wise individuals understand that religious beliefs are like choosing a favorite flavor of ice cream. Everyone has their own preference, and no flavor is the best for everyone. Instead of trying to convince others that vanilla is the ultimate choice, they respect that others may prefer chocolate or even pistachio. This diversity makes life richer and more interesting. Why is this important? Religious beliefs are deeply embedded in one's personal identity. When someone's faith is criticized, it's not just an attack on a viewpoint, but on the very essence of who they are. A study shows that when people discuss religion, the parts of the brain linked to personal identity are highly active. So, criticizing someone's faith is akin to saying something is wrong with them, which naturally puts them on the defensive. Those who are wise know that curiosity is the key. Instead of judging, they ask questions. Instead of pointing out flaws, they listen. Imagine you're talking to someone with different beliefs. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," try, "That's interesting. Could you share more about that?" A simple question like this can turn a potential argument into a meaningful and deep conversation. And here's the ultimate secret. Smart people not only respect the beliefs of others, but they also know how to find value in those beliefs. All religions offer a unique piece to the cosmic puzzle. Even if you don't follow that particular faith, you can see that each belief system provides a new perspective, adding richness and multidimensionality to life. So the next time you find yourself in a debate about religion, remember that the goal is not to win, to understand and learn. In the end, we are all on a journey to explore the meaning of life. And sometimes these conversations will shed light on things you never considered. Smart people treat others, religious beliefs as they would a valuable discovery, with respect, curiosity, maybe even a bit of admiration. Whether you believe in one God, many gods, or none at all, the most important thing is how you treat others. Number 11. Confidential information of third parties. We're not suggesting you become a silent person, withholding everything and never sharing. According to Stoic philosophy, the key lies in knowing the difference between what needs to be said and what should be kept to yourself. It's like having a mental filter that carefully selects what truly matters. Not everything needs to be spoken, and not everyone needs to know everything. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, "Do not speak more than necessary, and when you do, say what is essential." Keeping secrets not only protects others, but also reinforces your own integrity. This is how you build honor and trustworthiness, something that Stoics understand is more valuable than material wealth. Think of keeping a secret as holding on to a precious object. When someone trusts you with their secret, they are giving you responsibility. It's like a fragile crystal. If you take care of it, it will continue to shine. But if you drop it, it will shatter into 1,000 pieces. And that trust is almost impossible to rebuild. Stoics understand that safeguarding trust is a vital part of mastering oneself in life. Secrets, in Stoic thinking, are like unnecessary words. They can easily disappear forever if not respected and preserved. As Seneca wisely said, "Whatever you keep silent is safe. Once spoken, it is beyond your control." A wise person understands when to stay silent and when to speak, knowing that once a secret is revealed, there is no way to reclaim it. Ultimately, self-control in speech makes you someone others feel safe and confident around. It's not just a responsibility, but a display of strength in mastering yourself. Noble virtue in Stoic philosophy. Are you ready to become the most trustworthy keeper of secrets in the world? Remember, in the game of life, silence is sometimes the strongest weapon, earning you respect and trust from others. If you've watched this far, leave your mark by writing "emotional peace" in the comments section. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any valuable content in the future. If you found this video helpful, share it with your friends and loved ones, and consider becoming a channel member to gain access to exclusive benefits and help us develop more quality content. The link to learn more will be pinned in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now continue your journey to nurture your wisdom by clicking on one of the 2 videos on the screen. Sending you a big hug, and see you in the next video.